Gangsters, good morning. Let me get situated. I borrowed my son's robe for this. I was like, it's so warm. Okay, anyway, so, yes. I want to do something a little different today. Because I know I kind of touched base on Twin Flames before, and you know me, I'm very in and out about talking about Twin Flames. I'll talk about it for a minute. People are all interested, and they're like, "Let's talk more about it," and then I'm like, "Ah." It's a subject, you know. But so let's do a reading for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. Kind of talk about Twin Flames a bit, the difference between Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. And that's why gender is not really a thing in tarot, because your Divine Masculine and Feminine could be opposite gender, it could be a female Divine Masculine or a male Divine Feminine, it's about where you sit in your mind. One is more analytical, more observation based, more kind of like scientific, I guess, on that side of the brain, so that would be the Divine Masculine, and then the Divine Feminine is like the more creative force. That's the artist, the dreamer, the daydreamer, the one with a crazy imagination, the writers, like people who can produce things, so that would be the Divine Feminine. Has nothing to do with gender. Like I said, it has nothing, it just really depends on which side of the brain you're operating. So, we're going to do Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. So, let's see what we have for our Twin Flame viewers. Divine Masculine. And if you're one of those that sits on the fence, that's like in between the Divine Masculine and Feminine, I feel like even then you can kind of sense the energy of where you're at in the present moment. Are you more in that analytical side, or are you more in that artistic side? Because there are a lot of people who kind of hang in the balance between, like, I for one, I feel like I do. I hella hang in the balance, Alright, so let's get the Divine Masculine. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And that the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight that's not moving. I've talked about this in several other readings. He's the only one not moving. All of the other knights are in movement, going towards something. The Knight of Pentacles is not. He's just kind of chilling there, and he's like, I'll get there when I get there, But that's in the reverse here. So what I'm seeing is somebody's kind of getting kicked into gear a little bit. Somebody's kind of like on that mindset of efforting, right? And then with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's because they feel like they were left out in the cold, right? They feel like Hey Jasper, will you go get the dogs, please?
The dogs
Yeah,
outside?
yeah.
I can't go.
Thank you, bud. Yeah, so, Five of Pentacles in reverse. I just feel like, yeah, you feel left out in the cold here. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, it could be, you know, like, you could be lacking confidence. Um, you know, like struggling to love yourself, you know, kind of hard on yourself. On the flip side, um, you could feel left out in the cold because you didn't get to start a love cycle, you know. Um, Whatever the case is here, with all of your struggles, everything you've gone through, we have the Ace of Swords, right? And the Ace of Swords is kind of like a breakthrough. This is like the divine offering a sword here, and it's going to cut off any negative energy in your life. It's going to pull them, you know, cut any obstacle out of your way here. With the Ace of Pentacles, I see like a new beginning. You have 111 on the board: Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles. So I do see you entering a new phase in your life, right? I do see you kind of on a new endeavor here, and that's where the movement is coming in. With the Five of Swords, you feel defeated about something here. So, you know, I'm going to have to cut this video into two. So this will be the video for the Divine Masculine, because I feel like I'm going to have to go into a whole ass reading for this. And then I'll do Divine Feminine on the next one. But, okay. So you feel defeated about something here. You feel like conflicted, right? Like you didn't put enough effort into something. With the Eight of Swords, like you didn't, it's like you get a little burst of energy towards it and then you stop. And then it's like, yeah. And then with the King of Swords, this is kind of the energy of the Divine Masculine. Could be an air sign, could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But yeah, this Divine Masculine is somebody who is very confident and kind of in the energy of cutting out bullshit. Like they're focused on their Nine of Pentacles. They're focused on building their wealth, building up their abundance, and like creating what it is that they want to create. Sorry, my dogs are playing. They get loud, okay? But yeah, and so like this King of Swords is like just sorry, my kid's talking to the dog. But yeah, so the King of Swords is just focused on like his come up, right? Like wanting to be that kingpin energy, just like, you know what, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna do that, right? Because he feels defeated in some other area, right? Some other aspect, or she. I'm just saying from the perspective of the King of Swords. Because there was a struggle to like love oneself or to begin a new love cycle. Like it almost felt like futile, right? And then we have the Empress, Divine Feminine, showing up on the board, right? As a focal point, just kind of showing up out of nowhere. Like the King of Swords is like, all right, fine, I'm gonna focus on my money. I'm gonna focus on all that shit that leaves me feeling defeated. And then this brings in the attention of the Empress. The Empress is very strong, very independent, really go-getter energy. And she's like showing up like as a creator, like creating beautiful art or whatever the case. If it's a male too, you know, like just showing up in that creative force. Balanced, you know, there's scales above her head. So this is a very balanced person. And if they're balanced between the Divine Masculine and Feminine, then the King of Swords could potentially be both. That's the interesting thing about twin flames is they vibrate on the same frequency, so they come out in the same strong energy. Alright. So, let's clarify these. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. What is now starting to move? Or who? Five of Wands. Moving away from this conflicted feeling. And with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, feeling left out in the cold. You have 555 on the board now. Five of Swords, Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles. But yeah, this feeling of being left out in the cold could be by the star if you're dealing with an Aquarius, which really heavily goes with this King of Swords energy because that is an air sign card. But so yeah, they could feel left out in the cold, or you know, you could be feeling hopeful, like yeah, you were left out in the cold, but you're hopeful about the situation. You're seeing like the light at the end of the tunnel, like you're looking at the more optimistic side of things here. You're seeing the imminent potential, you know, like living up to it. Yeah, with the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Four of Pentacles, I see somebody here who chose power over love. Yeah, so this is like somebody who chose like an egoic side of a debate here or whatever. Like they chose to just be too proud, you know, to just be too proud to be able to do that. Or to want to. So it's kind of the opposite energy of this star. And the star is very optimistic and like kind of not limiting themselves like that. The Four of Pentacles is, you know, it's kind of limited. Because it's like, with the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's like sacrificing a gift from the divine in order to maintain the ego, in order to maintain some like concept of power. And then we have the Ace of Swords. I have to keep making sure that I don't run out of time. Alright, so Ace of Swords, let's talk about it. This divine intervention that's taking place. Ten of Swords in reverse. Yeah, somebody here won't like, well, okay, so I'm guessing it's connected to this Four of Pentacles. Whoever chose power over love, right? Because it's kind of saying here that, like, that's going to be taken, right? Or with the Ten of Swords in reverse, or it has been taken, and now you're stuck, like, having to... It's like an ego death. That's what I'm seeing here. It's like an ego death. Like, something has to come to an end, and I feel like it's a full-ass ego death. And it's like the divine is interfering because you weren't doing the work, or vice versa, they weren't doing the work, you know. So Ace of Pentacles, this is saying like the only thing that's like your idea of power here is not the reality of power, right? The reality of power is not to be limited by the ego or by pride. And in order to always kind of push forward into like the unknown a little bit, you know? And so I feel like, you know, you learn about what it's like to actually have power and to actually be responsible with it. Like, you're going to get what you essentially thought you were gaining by being in this energy, but like, you'll know what it's like to have real power. And it's not going to come off like this egoic, bullshitty kind of power. It's going to be like, now your responsibilities are multiplied because now you have things that, you know, that are bigger to take care of. You have more people to help. You know, you've got a new beginning in power. You have to like take it seriously and throw the ego out the door with that. Five of Swords. Yeah, you feel defeated by your ego, or they do. Sorry, I keep saying you, but it's just because of how I'm reading it. But they feel defeated by the ego because they were so busy trying to maintain this sense of like power and ideology. But then the reality was that this was an obstacle in the way of real power and real freedom, you know? Because if you had the freedom to choose, then why not choose what your heart tells you to, you know? But it's like you limited yourself. You've imprisoned yourself with some ideal here. Alright, so Ace of Pentacles. Or I keep saying that. It could be somebody else. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm stoned, okay? I read like I'm reading right directly in front of you. Like, I guess I am, but yeah. Ignore me. So then we have, Nine of Wands in reverse. And then Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is there will be a sense of vulnerability with this kind of energy, with that Ace of Pentacles new beginning energy. It's a powerful beginning. And it's going to take vulnerability and humility, which is more than strength. You know, it's more than that. Or more than our egoic idea of what strength is, right? And then we have Eight of Swords. Oh, wait, no. Five of Swords to the Ten of Pentacles. So because of everything, how everything has gone, despite all the conflict, despite all that, I see you coming to the Ten of Pentacles, like being really wealthy and being fine. You know, because you maintained hope. So maybe, you know, this is just one person that I am reading. Because I'm starting to kind of see it play out in a full circle here. I don't know if I see more energy than one, or maybe you're both in the same energy. But they're getting their reading next, okay? So, Eight of Swords. Let's talk about that. Like these little spurts of effort, right? We have the Foolish Man in reverse. You don't want to be a damn fool, right? You don't want to make any wrong moves, wrong turns. You're just kind of like, I feel like you're careful, you know? Fortitude in reverse. Not wanting to put in the work. Six of Wands in reverse, and that's why you lose out. King of Swords. And then we have Princess of Swords with the King of Pentacles. You know what?